Mayor, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for July 15, 2021 to order at 7:02 p.m. On roll call, council members Balistrary.
Here.
Fakori.
Here.
Fasolo, absent. Golubek.
Present.
Pellegrin.
Here.
Council President Wetchler.
Here.
Mayor Coletti.
Here, thank
We
you.
have a quorum.
Thank you, Erin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And it's very nice to see some familiar faces for once that I haven't seen for years. I get to see a lot of young faces the older I get that I'm not familiar with. So it is a great, great night for me to see some people that I've seen here for the last 30, 40 years. As a matter of fact, we'll be honoring two of them this evening, outstanding people. Well, when we get to it, we'll elaborate a little more on that. So let's get started. Could everyone please rise for our prayer and flag salute? Oh God, we ask you to bless our meetings, which we entrust to your care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbors. Give us in our deliberation so that our decisions will always please you and bring your peace and happiness to our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey require at the commencement of every meeting a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. Now, therefore, be advised that that meeting requirement for this meeting have been met by publishing an annual notice in the Record and Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Notice was posted on January 8th, 2021, and published on January 13th, 2021. Erin?
Thank you, Mayor. First on the agenda this evening, we have the approval of minutes. June 3rd, 2021 special meeting, work session meeting, and executive session meeting, and June 10th, 2021 work session and executive session meeting minutes.
May I have a motion on the minutes?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Fakori. Fasolo, absent. Golubek.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
Abstain on June the 3rd because I was not here, but yes to June 10th. Thank you.
Motion carries. Next, Mayor, we have a special presentation to Brenda and Bob Huffman. With that being said, I will turn that over to you.
Thank you. As I was saying before, ladies and gentlemen, we have two special people, and special indeed, and I don't think anybody's going to disagree with me on that. They've taken 50 years, a half a century of their life, and devoted it to girls softball. Now, that's unprecedented as far as I know, that long of a span of time. I could use myself as an example. I was the president of the Football Bombers. I was a commissioner and manager in Little League Baseball. I stayed after my children were out of those leagues, but it was no 50 years. It was 12, 13 years. So what makes that, I think that's what makes that unique, that we could sit here and have two people. Now, they're husband and wife. Think about that. The burden. At least if one half is out all the time, the other one's covering the home. But now we've got both of them out there totally dedicating their time. So this is really unique. It's really great. And it couldn't be, the honor could not be bestowed on any two other people better than these two people. Let's go. Sandy? Bob, Brenda, if you please. We all know Brenda, right? And we all,
You know it tonight.
you know, I can't remember a time I haven't seen them together. Through the course of the 50 years. Have you ever seen them separated?
Never. Never. Only as strangers, this is helping strangers out.
Right, yeah, right. And behind every great woman is a great man. Right? And vice versa.
That's right.
The Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park would like to recognize Brenda and Bob Bachman for 50 years of outstanding, dedicated service, countless hours, and commitment to our softball program. Your continuous contribution and dedication is appreciated by us and our community. On this 15th day of July 2021, we honor you both for your originating this successful softball program for our community. Brenda and Bob Bachman. You gotta get out of my way.
I'll go on this side. How's that? I'll go on this side. No, come on this side. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm a guilty person.
Good cheese. Thank you.
No. You don't think they're that easy, you know that, right? She's the boss? She's the ramrod. Okay. You know, some other people might not understand what that term means, but of course we do because we're from John Wayne time. Brenda, how do you manage to keep that focus and desire? What's the impetus that gave you and Bob to go forward with this 50 years?
I figure if I step down, it would be the whole part. Because it's, I don't go on the field anymore because it's too much, but every day, paperwork and everything, and I love the kids. I've met so many people that are great, and we now have players, children playing, and grandchildren. Yeah, like this Isabella. It's just, it gives me something to do. Bob, my accomplice back there, Bob Hunger, he, without him, Bob, how many years I know we
Over
were
30, right? 32.
Yes.
32. Well, you got 18 more to go.
So we know when they retire, we know who's taking over.
There you go.
What's unique about this is, and I know we've got some sports people out here, is that it's so important to keep that thread from one generation to another. They've exceeded 2 generations. And that's what makes this all unique. But to those organizations out there, we hope that it lasts as long with the officers, and the officers stay on beyond the time of their children. That's the important part. Because it's easy when your children are there, but when your children move on, that makes it a little more difficult. And if you manage to do that, that shows sincerity and keeps the town strong in the sports.
Can we get a picture of the council too?
Yeah, sure.
Also, I want to thank my sister, my brother-in-law, because there were many nights when I ran out to the ball field and they took care of my kids, so.
Come up here. This council loves to get their picture taken.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? I see it all the time. What's wrong with that?
Come on.
We know you as long as, we know you as long as anybody else.
One big cheese. I don't know. Got a couple.
Thank you. Thank you. And I believe he's full walking up the stairs.
And now some comments from the council. Okay. We'll start off with, let's start off with Shakib Corey.
Well, thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Brenda, Bob, congratulations. 50 years is a big number. I wish I can come close to it. I'm not even quarter to it, but that was a great job. I know it's a great program. A lot of people tell me the great things about it. My kids didn't play softball, but I heard a lot of nice things and great organization. So thanks to you, Brenda and Bob.
Councilwoman Ballesteri?
Hey, Brenda and Bob, I want to express that your commitment to girls softball does not go unnoticed. Wow, 50-year anniversary from when you both brought the girls program to Elmwood Park. It's quite an accomplishment. For those that don't know, Brenda and Bob have 2 sons. They have no daughters, but wanted to bring in a girls program 50 years ago since we had none. It is rare to have a couple with no children in the program, but even more unique to run it for 50 years. I have been involved for over 25 years, and I see love, passion, sincere commitment from these 2 individuals. I also want to give a shout out to Bob Unger, who has worked with Brenda and Bob for over 30 years. He is also truly committed to this program. As we know, it is getting more difficult to get coaches and even players. Most households have both parents working, and it becomes very difficult for them. But through it all, and especially during the pandemic, the softball program continues because of Brenda and Bob. That is true leadership. By the way, our 2 all-star summer EP teams are right now in 1st or 2nd place as we are coming to a close to playoffs. Bob and Brenda, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Our softball dinner is scheduled for October 5th. It's $50 a person at the Venetian. Please join us in celebration of 50 years of softball. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Well said. Councilman Golombek?
Brenda and Bob, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we can count on one hand the amount of people in Elmwood Park or East Patterson history that gave 50 years to any one thing. So that's absolutely incredible. So thank you, and you know, I look forward to joining you guys at your 50th anniversary dinner so we can, you know, celebrate as a whole community, you guys and the organization. So thank you.
Councilwoman Pellegrin?
Yes, congratulations, Brenda and Bob. Thank you for all the years you have given to our youth program. Your commitment to our youth and our community is second to none. We truly appreciate everything that you have given to Elmwood Park. Happy 50th. God bless you. Many more years ahead of you. Thank you.
Council President Wetchler?
Brenda and Bob, I've known you over 50 years. You had my daughter Jan. She was the only one that wanted to play softball. Really, without you guys, both of you, I don't know what this town would do without the girls softball team, because you were the one that put the heart and soul into this town to make our kids want to do it, and you proved it 50 years. Like Sandy says, without you, we wouldn't have nothing. But really, I'll be with you in another 50 years. We'll be together, and I'll see you at your dinner. Promise you. Congratulations again, and thank you.
At the fear of you people thinking I talk too much, I got to say a few more other nice things. I did not know that her children were not female. Wow, that even makes it more extraordinary. Well, you know, I don't think this is ever going to happen again in Elmwood Park, where you have you two and the backup behind you. What's that, Brenda? I hope it does. I'm sure you're going to stay on from a distance, which, you know, as we get older, we're supposed to do that, you know. The young people do all the running around, and we do all the thinking. So, all right, but I love you both, and thank you very, very much.
One more comment from me. One last comment. Happy 51st anniversary. They started the program when they were only 1 year anniversary. So happy 51st anniversary to both of you.
What month were you married? Okay, because I'm going on my 51st, and it was February 14th. So I guess we were fooling around at the same time, huh? You know what I mean by fooling around, right? I don't mean anything derogatory with that. So, all right. I seen Mike shake his head. I said, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. All right, once again, thank you and God bless. Okay. We're going to take a short intermission.
Mayor, I'd like to reestablish quorum at 7:29 on roll call. Council members Balistrary,
Here.
Fakori,
Here.
Fasolo,
Here.
Golubek, Pellegrin,
Here.
Council President Wetchler.
Here.
And I'm also here,
Mayor Coletti, we have a quorum.
for the record.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Mayor, continuing on with the rest of our meeting, we have ordinances being read on first reading. To begin, Resolution R-252-21, introduced ordinance number 21-16 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend Chapter 7 Traffic of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park, more specifically, Article 7-13.1, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, August 19th, 2021, at 7 p.m. or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
May I have a, well, no, before we do that, Mike, can you break this down for us?
Mayor, we received some complaints about some parking concerns on Cadmus Ave and Elmwood Drive. Traffic Division did a survey and a study, and they made some recommendations to limit some parking over there for safety reasons. That's what this is.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion on the ordinance?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Wetchler, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, Council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Fakori.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek. Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next is Resolution R-253-21, reintroduced ordinance number 21-13 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park, New Jersey, amending the Borough Code and all general ordinances of the borough, more specifically, Chapter 8, marijuana dispensaries and paraphernalia, Chapter 34, zoning site plan review, Section 34-3.1, Section 34-7.3, Section 34-7.4, Section 34-31, Section 34-44.1, and Section 34-44.2 to permit and govern legal cannabis and marijuana operations within the Borough of Elmwood Park, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance took place as advertised on Thursday, July 15th, 2021, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance were heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final passage as required by law. Mayor, through you, just very quickly. We are having a public hearing on this tonight because it was supposed to be the second reading, but it had to be reintroduced, but because the public hearing was advertised for tonight, it must be held.
Okay, so I think at this point, we have to, a motion to open to the public.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone from the public here to comment on this ordinance? Please come forth if so. If not, I will close the public portion. May I have a motion on the ordinance?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Wetchler, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, council members Balistrary,
Yes.
Fakori,
Yes.
Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek, Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler. Motion carries. Okay, moving on to ordinances being read on second reading. Resolution R-254-21, introduced ordinance number 21-14 on second reading. Whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Chapter 2 entitled Administration, more specifically Article 5, Section 2-37, presently reserved, to be renamed and entitled as Cannabis and Marijuana Administrative Board, in order to regulate and oversee the administration of the cannabis and marijuana ordinance in the Borough of Elmwood Park, was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, June 17, 2021, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting, whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Chapter 2, entitled Administration, specifically Article 5, Section 2-37, presently reserved, to be renamed and entitled as Cannabis and Marijuana Administrative Board in order to regulate and oversee the administration of the cannabis and marijuana ordinance in the Borough of Elmwood Park, pass on final reading.
Motion to open to the public. Any discussion? Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance? If not, I will close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Wetchler, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Fakori.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek. Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler. Motion carries. Resolution R-255-21, introduced ordinance number 21-15 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to fix the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey for the year 2021, was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, June 17, 2021, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting, whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to fix the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey for the year 2021, pass on final reading.
Erin, could you break that down for us?
Yes, Mayor, this is the department head and part-time employee salary ordinance. It's done on a yearly basis for those employees, standardly done at a 2% increase.
Motion to open this to the public. Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance? If not, I will close the public portion. Motion, please, on the ordinance.
Second.
First by Wetchler, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Fakori.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek. Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler. Motion carries.
Here's where you earn your money now.
Here I go, Mayor. For our consent agenda this evening, we have R-256-21, approval of payroll, R-257-21, approval of bills list, R-258-21, resolution to redeem third-party tax lien, R-259-21, authorized vacation buyback, R-260-21, authorized retirement compensation, police department, R-261-21, authorized retirement compensation, police department, R-262-21, award emergency installation work, GNR Heating and Air, LLC, R-263-21, authorized purchase of vehicle and equipment, Department of Public Works, R-264-21, authorized purchase of vehicle and equipment, Department of Public Works, R-265-21, authorized purchase of vehicle, Department of Public Works, R-266-21, authorized extension of contract, Chasen, Lamparello, Mallon, and Capuzzo, R-267-21, authorize additional legal work, 465 River Drive, R-268-21, authorize increase in hourly wage, Fire Prevention Department, R-269-21, approve departmental promotions, Department of Public Works, R-270-21, authorize emergency services, Petro Mechanics, Inc., R-271-21, Authorize execution of an agreement, Business Information Systems, Inc., R-272-21, authorize execution of an agreement with the Borough of Prospect Park, R-273-21, authorize appointment of municipal representatives to the Bergen County Community Development Regional Committee, R-274, and R-275-21, approval of items of revenue and appropriation, NJS 40A:4-87, R-276-21, approval of the removal of planning board member, R-277-21, authorize maintenance of a Home Depot card, Recreation Department, R-278-21, authorize additional users to borrow Costco card, Recreation Department, R-279-21, appoint special legal counsel, R-280-21, through R-287-21, approval of items of revenue and appropriation, NJS 40A:4-87, and finally, R-288-21, resolution to approve the consent agenda.
Wow. Do you have to go to a speed reading class for that?
No, Mayor.
No? Maybe in my next life, I'll be able to acquire that skill of reading that like that. May I have a motion on the consent agenda? Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Balistrary,
I recused on R-260-21, R-261-21, and yes on the rest.
Fakori,
Yes.
Fasolo,
I'd like to recuse on 268-21, yes to the rest.
Golubek,
Yes.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Council President Wetchler.
I recuse on Harry Wetler's check, and yes to the rest.
Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, if I may just make a comment. Absolutely. Our attorney, Mr.
Council information.
Yes.
With regards to the shared services agreement with Prospect Park, I just received today a draft of the proposed agreement. I've reviewed it, I'm redrafting certain changes to it, there shouldn't be a problem. Okay? And I will be submitting it for your signature.
Thank you, Mr. Ingraff.
Okay, Mayor, moving on to departmental reports, Recreation Advisory Board minutes, May 17th, 2021, Planning Board meeting minutes, May 12th, 2021, Library Board meeting minutes, May 17th, 2021, and Board of Health meeting minutes for May 10th, 2021.
Motion to accept department reports?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Now for applications, Mayor, we have the Elmwood Park Football Bombers raffle. It's a calendar raffle for multiple dates in 2021.
Motion to approve the application?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor? Moving along.
Okay, lastly, Mayor, on my agenda, we have mayoral appointments due to the removal of a planning board member. Taking his spot will be Vincent Ferraro for an unexpired term through December 31st, 2022. And being that Mr. Ferraro was our alternate member, we have an individual taking his spot, Mr. Robert Elder, as an alternate for an unexpired term through December 31st, 2022 as well.
All right.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Yeah, we try to keep the roster full because there comes times where people get sick, vacation, and we don't have a quorum. And when you have a big entity coming into town with lawyers and architects and specialists, it's unfair to them. So when a member cannot make it for obvious reasons and misses 4 or 5 times, not necessarily in a row, you have to ask that member, can you do this job, or is it not working for you? And that's what happened in this case here. Wasn't working for the party, and we had to replace him. Okay, Erin, I guess we're looking for council reports. Are we at that
Correct, yes.
stage? Okay. Councilwoman Ballesteri?
Mine will be short since I had a long one earlier. Okay, and in our recreation, last night, we had beautiful weather for the summer concert series. The concerts will continue through the month of July and August, every Tuesday evening at 7:30. Come out and enjoy a lot of entertainment, great family fun. Also, movie night and camp out is Saturday, July 24th, 9 p.m. at Borough Field. I'm done, Mayor. Thank you.
Sandy, could you just break that down on the 24th?
Yeah, I
It's-
think I have the detail. I'm just looking at it.
It's going to be, I'm sure,
Saturday, July 24th, 9 PM, Borough Fields. Bring your tents, sleeping bags, lawn chairs, blankets, and I don't know if the registration's still open for this?
Yes, registration is still open. I want to just make this clear, that's a community policing event. The police department is partnering with the rec on it.
Right.
Very important that we emphasize community policing in this one.
okay. So it's just another step in the right direction of this town communicating with its citizens, and very good. I think it's going to go over big. Very good. Councilman Fasolo.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to apologize to the public that I'm not there for a few meetings, but I am here. I'm trying to fulfill my duties as councilman, even from abroad. But I want to thank everybody who's doing all the hard work there in progress, Mayor.
Okay, so how's the food over there?
The food is great, but I'm trying not to overdo it. Because, I'm trying not to gain too much, but it's great.
We weighed you before you left, and we'll weigh you when you come back. Thank you, Mr. Fasolo.
Right now, I'm only up 2 pounds, but I'm trying.
All right, well, get rid of it on the plane coming back. Go up and down the aisle. Keep jogging. And before they lock you up.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Councilman Golubek.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one item, as many have seen and read, our clerk accepted a position as the city manager in Garfield. Congratulations and good luck. I know we're going to have a transitionary phase, and I know at last week's council meeting, the council unanimously decided to advertise for this position, to start the process, to start the interview process. I just have a question on that note. I know we agreed on that last Thursday. Has the advertisement been posted?
No, it has not. I had a conversation with the mayor, and he asked me to hold it.
So the Borough Council made a decision last Thursday, and the mayor unilaterally decided to instruct the administration not to carry that out, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's correct. That's your report?
Yes, thank you.
Brilliant.
Are you back to your ways?
Councilwoman Pellegrin?
Yes, good evening, everyone. My Board of Health update, a reminder. The state of New Jersey will be sponsoring a vaccination site right here in Borough Hall in the courtroom on July 28th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. No need for pre-registration, and all walk-ins are welcome from any and all towns in the state. Everyone must provide identification. The vaccine will be Pfizer and can be given to anyone aged 12 and older. For any further information, please call our Board of Health Secretary, Marlene DeStefano, at 201-796-1457, extension 201. My police update, upcoming events. The Elmwood Park Community Policing Department presents Biking on the Boulevard. Dates July 18th and 25th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. from Gilbert Ave to Lincoln Ave. Bring your bikes, skateboards, rollerblades, and scooters. Hang out with your neighbors and friends. An ice cream truck will be on site. Next event, July 24th, which was previously mentioned, but I'm going to read it again. Elmwood Park PBA versus Garfield PBA in its first annual Mayor's Trophy softball game. It will be 5 p.m. location, Borough Field. Both PBAs will be putting up $500 each. The winning team will donate the money to a charity of their choice. Also, the game, there will be a barbecue after the game hosted by the Elmwood Park PD. At 9 p.m., there will be a movie on Borough Field, followed by a second movie, and then there will be a camp out and sleepover supervised by our Elmwood Park Police Department, community policing. Next event, August 3rd, will be National Night Out, time 5:30 to 8:30 p.m., location Borough Field. Next event will be Community Day, September 12th, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., location Borough Field. Thank you, Chief Foligno and the entire police department for all their upcoming events to bring our community together. And lastly, I would like to congratulate Erin on her appointment to city manager in Garfield. I wish you much success in your new role. She's made history by being the youngest and I believe the first woman city manager in Garfield. So that says a lot about her talent. So we wish her all the best. Progress, Mayor.
Council President Wetchler?
Yes. Mike, I'd like to thank you and your police department for everything you do for this town. especially with the game going on with the softball against Garfield and everything that you do. You're bringing our students together for everything you do, even with the police department, with the police academy and everything else. This has never been done before. All your hard work and all our police department and our police officers. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Second, just a reminder that the homeowners are running a bus trip to Wind Creek Casinos on Friday, July the 23rd. They're leaving the rec center at 10 o'clock, returning at 7 o'clock. It's $35 cash value, and you pay $40. You get $35 back. Please call Linda Calabini at 201-966-7694. I have a question from our attorney, Sal. Danny just brought something up that I didn't realize. We had discussed last week about putting the ad in the paper for Aaron's job. I want to know how the mayor could override what we had stated for him to put a hold on it. If this council was instructed to tell them to put an ad in the paper, how could we, as a council sitting here, have the mayor do it again, go against us? Can you please explain that to me?
I would have to research that, unfortunately. I can't give you an answer specifically right now. But I will look into it and will report to the council.
Mr. Ingraffia, I am the presiding officer, correct?
You certainly are, sir.
And I do have that power, especially if it's a question of a day or two. I would believe that I'm correct with that.
Like I said, Mayor, I can't answer that question right now because I'm not in a position to answer it. I will have to research it.
Right.
And I will give you an answer.
So what we're talking about is 2-day difference here, 2 days.
The earliest it could have been posted would have been Tuesday because of the weekend, and I wasn't in the office. So Tuesday versus tomorrow on Friday. In the mayor's defense, he wanted to have more of a conversation about it before it was posted. So you are talking a matter of 3 days.
Okay. Okay, moving along. On a brighter note, we had Tuesday evening, we had our concert, second of our concert series of 8. Oh, I forgot Shakib. Shakib, forgive me.
You know I always do, man.
All right, okay, please, I'm sorry.
No apology needed, Mayor. It's okay. On Wednesday, I had a meeting with the Diversity Committee and the Community Policing, just to plan the event, just to piggyback on my colleagues, what they said. So for movie night on Camp Out, as of today, there was 93 registered. So it's 93 people that are registered as of today. So I think it's a great success. And I want to thank a few people, some of them are here. They do great work. They do it behind the scene. We don't see them as often, but believe me, they do a lot of work. And I want to thank the chief for communicating with everyone, keeping everyone in the loop. Mike, can't thank you enough what you do for us. So thanks again. Aaron, I want to congratulate you on your appointment as the city manager of Garfield. I wish you the best of luck, and I think you would be great at it. And good luck to you, Aaron. Thank you so much. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you, Shakib. Once again, I apologize for that. Tuesday evening, as I was saying, we've had our second concert. The first one was rained out. This one, the rain gods were much kinder to us, and they held off. And we had the Bruce Springsteen cover group, and they were very good. They were very good. They were gravitating. I stayed the whole evening, along with about 150 people, and we're looking for that series to just grow and grow and grow, and I'm sure it will as we go along. Just so a reminder, that's every Tuesday for July and August. Correct, Sandy?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's a good thing for the town. That's all I have. I think I'm sorry?
There should be like 6 more.
6 more, yeah, 6 more. That's all I have. I think everything's been said here that should be said.
Mayor, if I may, to continue with my report, if I may.
Boy, I'm really slipping tonight. Sorry.
He just has something to add.
Okay,
He said.
go ahead, Mr.
I just had
Fasolo.
something to add to my report.
Go right ahead, Mr. Fasolo.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to thank Erin for the time here at Elmwood Park. She's been a first-class clerk, and she really served the residents of Elmwood Park with great dignity and integrity. And I'd like to wish her the best in her future endeavors, and I know she's going to be a great city manager in the city of Garfield. So thank you, Erin, and good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Did I get everybody? We're good. Okay. At this time, I'd like to open it to the public for any sort of comments on anything that was discussed this evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor.
You got to bring it real close to you.
I'm going to try. And turn it on, right?
Yes, you hold it down, Dominic, until it turns green.
Okay, we'll try. Good evening, Mayor Coletti. Dominic Scalzione, 120 East 54th Street. Mayor, as you know, the COVID-19 numbers for Elmwood Park Borough continue to improve, with infections down to just 6 cases reported for the most recent 2-week period. Currently, our first dose vaccination numbers overall are 69%. Overall, for the entire town is 69%. That's for adults only. And for our senior citizens, we have an astonishing greater than 85% of seniors have received a first dose vaccination, greater than 85%. And that's better than 20 other Bergen communities, and that includes better than Saddlebrook, Cliffside Park, Fort Lee, and Edgewater, a total of 20 communities. As you know, the Board of Health and the New Jersey Department of Health are planning a vaccination clinic event here in Elmwood Park, as mentioned tonight, on Wednesday, July 28th from 2 to 6 p.m. This is the Pfizer vaccine, which is adolescent children are eligible to receive. My question is there any possibility of finding space somewhere in the rec center or senior center complex where this clinic is more likely to encounter parents rather than the Borough Hall for this event? And thank you for your consideration, and congratulations to everyone for the excellent job that they are doing. Thank you.
I'm going to pass that question on to Mike. I think he's the most capable of answering the best.
Mr. Scalzione, thank you for your updates and your concerns. And your suggestion, I understand, but I don't think we would be able to bring those people into the rec center where we have summer camp and stuff going on. So we vetted that all out before we made the decision. That's why we chose Borough Hall. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use the rec center for that.
Anyone else care to speak? You know the drill, Jeff.
Freitag, 35 Hillman Drive, Elmwood Park. Excuse me, last week, I believe it was, or the last meeting, I asked a question regarding the use of the chipper by the
Right.
DPW.
You know, Jeff, I apologize. I had the answer for you last night, but we got caught up in that lengthily. Basically, what happens is the tree branches are taken off of the street, brought to the DPW, piled there, and then accordingly, when it reaches a certain amount, they're chipped.
So they do use the chipper?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
because I noticed they're purchasing a roll-off and I believe another dumpster, I guess, to go on the roll-off, because I think it's about $200,000.
Yeah.
Any particular reason why they're stored or taken? Because from what I've heard is they take them away in that. Why would they have that otherwise?
What's the question, Jeff?
The roll-off. They have a roll-off, I
Right.
believe a 40-yard roll-off.
It's got multiple use, the roll-off. It's universal. It's not just for that. It's for a lot of things. Could actually be used for snow removal, too, in certain cases.
Okay, but they do use the chipper.
They do use the chipper, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Is there any chance, like, I see the particular small dump truck taking branches back and forth, 3 guys in the truck. Couldn't they just kind of tow it behind them and do it while they're getting the stuff, do it that way?
Jeff, you were a manager for a motor vehicle, right?
Yeah.
It's,
That could be looked at in many ways.
no, as a manager, you can't micromanage your employees. I think you can agree with me on that.
Yes.
And I don't know how it worked for you, but if I was in construction, I'd come onto the job and my men would be sitting down having coffee, and then they would jump up, and I said, no, 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 no. You're having your coffee. This is the time you took your coffee break. But if I viewed it the other way, that these guys, every time I come on the job, they're sitting down on coffee, I would have a different perspective on what's happening. So am I getting the point across to you?
Point well taken.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Anyone else care to speak? Yes, sir. Your name and address, please?
Eric Shafrilla, 289 Malta Avenue.
Can you, sorry, spell your last name?
Yeah, Chiffriller.
Thank you.
So I'm coming to the council today with a problem that we've dealt with for a good 15 years. The previous administration attempted to help us with it. Unfortunately, it hasn't resolved. In fact, it's grown quite egregiously. We're having an issue. I'm the last house on the dead end of Malta Avenue. So if you know the street. My neighbor's the train tracks.
Is that where the Friendly's ice cream parlor is?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, or former Giorgio's.
Former Giorgio's, yeah.
I had a conversation with my neighbor the other day about how you can attest how beautiful it used to be in that area years ago. So the problem is, because the train tracks aren't being used, they haven't been used, and I think the last time a car was actually on the track was 2008. And I do understand that they are looking to take the tracks out by 2022. The problem is, since they haven't had any cars on the track at all, they don't maintain the property whatsoever. It's a large area, and I'm sure you can imagine, left, on no maintenance or anything like that. Not weeds, now trees, and now, unfortunately, poison oak has grown so out of control. It's completely taken over my fence. It's grown through the fence, destroyed the fence, wrapped around the fence of North Jersey Truck Center. The poison oak has made its way all the way down, hanging 8 feet over my grandson's swing set, makes the area unusable. In addition to that, every time we get anything beyond a light rain, the water runs down the side of the berm and it deposits, I don't know, 30 yards of stone and big rocks and mud and everything else. In addition to that, the issue is worse with the water, since North Jersey Truck Center, when they did their construction back there, their contractor couldn't get rid of the fill, all the fill they had. So he was how he did this without getting caught, I don't know, but he would drive the bulldozer around the shoulder of 46 onto the tracks and dump the fill there. Because he did that, he changed the whole way the water runs off. So now all of the water runs onto my property. The whole property swamped out. At the time when we were, fighting with him, the town pulled a surety bond and quoted out the job and hired a contractor. They put in a drain in the back of my house and my neighbor's. But the amount of water is so great that it's more than what that drainage system can handle either.
Does the water go down like within 2 or 3 hours after a heavy rain?
I mean, if it's a heavy rain, within 15 minutes, the rocks and the mud start rolling down. It's progressively gotten worse.
Okay,
the water clogs its path, it makes it easier.
The erosion factor. But as far as the drainage, you said we put in a line there. That's working.
I can't imagine what it would look like if that drain wasn't there.
Okay, okay.
But the yard is unusable after a big rain. So the problem is, and I was telling my wife before we came here, I said the list of complaints I have, these people are going to think I'm a nut, or I just like to complain. But my problem is just basically bad neighbors, right? My bad neighbor in North Jersey Truck Center, my bad neighbor in the railroad, and I understand how difficult it is to deal with the railroad because of their reach and their power, and also now FW Web. The area that I referred to earlier, my neighbor told me he grew up with you, and said how you can remember when it was Giorgio's. That area was beautiful. People that owned Giorgio's kept the property beautiful. The other neighbors kept it nice, and it looked fine. It is such a disgrace now. I urge any one of you to drive around back, either my side, Martha Avenue side of the tracks, and take a look, or the other side from around the back of the diner or Friendly's. It's really a disgrace. The people that bought the old Empire Overall, FW Web now, they cut down a bunch of the saplings and left just the branches, probably 4.5 feet, 5 feet high, just piled up at the end of the street.
This is the new owners of the old Empire Overall.
They bought the building next to the Bergen Industrial
Yes.
building that they bought.
Okay.
They bought the second property, and then they had a big cleanup there too because it was contaminated.
And that's next to you, because you're on the
On
end.
the opposite side of the tracks.
Yeah.
So at the end of that block, all of that stuff that's dumped, in addition to the trucks that park overnight, which is one of my neighbors who we asked, myself and our other neighbors asked graciously, one, it's illegal for you to park your 18-wheeler there to begin with. Two, he starts it up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and my bedroom window faces it. So, but he also dumps things off the back of his trailer onto the street. Bags, I've collected bags of concrete, bags of sand, all other kinds of scraps and junk, and dumps it there because it's a dead end. Anytime the wind blows, all the garbage, it winds up over there. Animals and everything else have gotten into it. It's really a disgrace. It looks terrible. Combine that with all of the weeds and the trees, and now the poison oak. I caught poison oak twice in the past month trying to clean it up. Over the years, I've always dealt with it on my own. Cut the weeds back at my own expense, my own time, my own sore muscles. I dealt with it. I kept it back, but now it's just grown to an amount that I can't
handle it
myself.
Yeah.
I can't contend with the rocks. Nick from the building department was at my house today. He says, "My God, I can't believe this. I was here a couple of weeks ago. He said this was all nice and clean." I said, "Yeah, because I cleaned it up the day before and power washed and pushed everything back." And he couldn't believe the amount of rocks in my driveway. 3/4 past my house, almost up to my neighbor's house. It's unbelievable. The combination of these issues, my neighbors and I that try to keep that dead end nice. My neighbor plants flowers and puts mulch down. I cut the weeds back and put mulch down. Not our property, not our responsibility. We live there.
Yeah.
We try to keep it nice. It's beyond our ability to do anything anymore, and it's terrible.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to Mike, but before I do that, we had a meeting today about this, and Mike will elaborate on what we came up with.
Thank you, Mayor. And I empathize with you. That stinks. And, I became aware of this. I think you sent an email to Angela, or you spoke to her a few weeks ago, right? I immediately turned that over to the building department. And there was another property involved, not there, but on another railroad. So, as you said, they're difficult to deal with. But we don't accept that, right? Even though we can't get them to do what we want them to do, we will do that work for them for our residents' sake, because we don't just pass the buck and say, well, they won't do it, there's nothing we can do about it. I talked to my DPW superintendent, talked to Nick, and also Tony, the building inspector, and we're going to all come out there personally over the next several days, early next week. We're going to identify all the issues, identify what we as the town can remediate for you, and whatever we can't, and whoever else is responsible, surrounding businesses, we will personally hold them accountable until we get satisfaction there. You have my word on that.
I appreciate that. I spoke with the representative for North Jersey Truck Center today again, and between the two of us, we thought that it would be a good idea, from our experience, knowing how unwilling to be cooperative that the railroad can be. If we collectively call and become a thorn in their side, You got one crazy guy calling them all the time, they ignore him and they say that crazy guy again and they blow us off, right? But if the town is putting pressure on them, and then also North Jersey Truck Center, and then maybe also FW Web, and 5 other neighbors that I know for certain would be willing to call, that may help. And
I'll tell you what they said when we called them 2 weeks ago. We're not doing anything. If we opened that can of worms, we'd never close it. Do you know how many properties abut our railroads throughout the state? We'll give the residents weed killer to do it themselves. Well, that's not going to
I
happen.
can tell you from personal experience, I spoke to the head of their legal department, this is years ago, and he, without any hiding of his intention or attitude at all, basically told me, look, you could try suing us, but after you spend 30, 40,000 in legal fees and we keep putting it off, then when you get to 50, you decide maybe I'll just spend the 50 to put a retaining wall and this and that on my own. They are not shy about telling you who they are, what their power is, and so I understand that. But unfortunately now the problem 10 years ago was the railroad and solely the railroad. Now it's grown to now it's also the result of what North Jersey Truck Center did. Nick was there today. As Nick and I were standing in my yard, he witnessed with me as North Jersey Truck Center had a guy with a broom sweeping up and sweeping branches, and pieces of the branches, I guess they cut back some of the poison oak, and put it in a bag, and proceeded to throw the contractor bag over the 8-foot fence onto the trackside, right in front of us, okay? Everybody does that. The passers-by, the people that, walk over the tracks as a shortcut, to, people that are looking to dump stuff, pull around the back of the friendlies,
But
and dump that stuff.
you know what's going to happen, though? That's probably never going to stop. I recall, in my backyard, I got a little pond. I have a nicely groomed area, and I sit in my backyard. I'm 1 block, not too far from you. I'm on Stone and Herman Street. And I sit in my backyard, and then you hear on a summer night the loud screeching noise of a bike taking off from the light and going all the way down the highway. And I get frustrated. And you know what my wife says to me?
Shouldn't have bought a house near a highway, that guy here.
Exactly. So there's certain things are never going to change that way, but we can get you back to normality, and we don't want any resident, especially yourself, to ever lose that desire of keeping your property nice and neat. That's what we're about.
I totally understand what you're saying. I have the same conversation with my wife all the time. I bought the house knowing very well it's on a dead end. Foolish me, I thought I'm buying the house, my kids would be outside, and instead of like I did when I was a kid, every 10 minutes car, when we were playing ball, little did I know that our kids wouldn't go outside, other than at the rec and stuff like that. But I understood all of the things that came along with buying a house right by the highway, on a dead end, totally understood. The problem that I have is knowing and seeing this process over the years where North Jersey Truck Center, for one, came to the town, came to the council and the building department and requested certain variances and certain things to build their property in the way they did, okay? They paved, if you know the property North Jersey Truck Center is on now, years ago, or what seems like 3 months after I bought my house, the prior owner had trees for 1,000 feet from the fence, and the trees buffered the highway. It sucked up the water, it kept it back. 3 months after I bought the house, I heard the chainsaws in the morning, so well, there goes our view, right? But the problem is, in return, in granting this gentleman, John Muchmore, who owns North Jersey Truck Center, and his contractor, all these variances, and in return, he's basically ignored every rule and ordinance that he was told to stick to, okay? They were told they're not to be working on trucks on that property. I have pictures of them working on the trucks with pneumatic tools and everything like that, loud, and he doesn't care. They throw the garbage over the side. Like I said earlier, his contractor literally drove his bulldozer on the shoulder of Route 46 repeatedly to dump all the fill onto the tracks, uninterrupted, not even questioned. And then when we had to pull his surety bonds to pay for that drainage system. In that process, he was still granted a CO anyway to open before any of the issues were resolved, and I explained to them how the seepage tanks that they put in didn't work properly, and all the other issues that he didn't follow the rules by. He was still granted a CO anyway. So that's the problem that I have with that, as well as FWF. They leave giant, I don't know what kind of equipment it is. They look like big industrial AC units right in the middle of the street. It's a street, even though it's not a through street and it's a dead end. They leave the stuff smack in the middle of the street as if it's their property. They dump their garbage.
All right.
They don't follow any.
Oh, here comes the other half.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble now.
You come to get him?
No, no.
You know, this guy should be in politics.
Can I say something? The gentleman comes with legitimate concerns, and he says it in a respectful way. We will help you. You have my word. Trust me.
I love the wife, though. She knew time was up. She knew time was behind it. Every great man is a great woman.
If there's any person in the world that's going to point out any of my flaws, it's going to be me.
Remember the Gong Show? Remember the Gong Show?
Yeah, I can
We're going to help you out.
We'll take care of you. No worries.
Anything I can do, anybody needs access to my property.
We'll come and talk.
Anyone else care to speak? Now, he went over his limit of 30 minutes, so you can only have 5.
You don't have to worry about that, Mayor. I'm really very brief, okay? Again, on the same issue of the vaccinations, you're aware that we had that event scheduled on June 8th, and I'm not sure where it was supposed to be here in the Borough Hall, but many people commented that, it wasn't a good place to have it. In any event, we had to cancel it because there were no takers. There were no people that signed up in advance for it. So one suggestion was the possibility of having this event instead of another issue about having it here in the courthouse is that some people might be reluctant to come here. We want to make sure that it's open to everybody, this event. So one suggestion was that is it possible maybe to have it in the VFW? To have it centrally located, I think, is a more, a better.
Then here, really? Well, you realize the VFW it's an autonomous entity, so we really have no control over that. You would have to get to the director.
I mean, I'm thinking maybe the town would have to pay for it.
We can control this building.
I know, but it might be good for them to pay them a small fee.
They're having problems right now. Yeah, I would look for another facility.
And it's definitely out, the rec center and the senior center, there's no place that we can have it there. Because I mean, we're looking to get adolescents and parents and, that's the next big thing. As I mentioned, we have over 85% of our.
But Dominic, what I can't fathom is this here is the center of town. Why would you want a better facility than this?
Have people that don't have documents. I mean, we want everybody to come out. This is a lot,
So,
people are reluctant to come here.
oh,
Well, you might know this yourself. I don't know.
but I see what you're saying, because they're undocumented, they think City Hall.
But a lot of, we used to see how many people come out here at night at these meetings. I mean, they're just,
Well, this is a full house.
But I mean, a lot of people don't know their way here. That's what I mean to say.
Yeah.
Say it properly. A lot of people just don't seem to know their way to Borough Hall.
Yeah.
They know to get to the rec center.
Yeah.
Because to them, it's,
Well, the only way I can answer, we can control this facility here. We can't control the VFW, Knights of Columbus, the Elks Club. Those are all separate entities.
again, we could maybe rent it or something. I know it's being sponsored by the Department of Health, but.
Mike, is there any feasibility in what he's saying?
To renting out the VFW?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they would charge us. We could inquire from them if they would allow us to utilize it. I'm not sure they're going to charge us.
We have the experience of June 8th. That didn't work.
Right.
So, again, it was a different vaccine, and it wasn't, hopefully we'll have
Can I ask a question? Mike, you know how you put it on the digital board, like on the boulevard when we have a town event? Could we do that? Because people ride up and down the boulevard all day long. They would see that it's going to be here, they would know it's Pfizer, they would know the time, and
Yeah,
maybe that will draw people
We
in.
could do whatever, whatever you want, whatever
I
you
mean,
guys
because
think is
people
right.
do see that board, Dominic, and it's right on the boulevard. We can put it up a few days ahead of time, and it's a reminder to people. We can say it's Pfizer, we can say the time, the location. Okay, but if we can't get another facility, that's another way of advertising. Right.
We should learn from that experience.
Well, we can't, as the chief said, we can't have it at the rec with the children there for camp. So we can ask maybe the American Legion or the VFW, I don't know.
Can I just add my I just want to offer my opinion. This is my personal opinion. I personally believe we've reached a point where the vaccine is so readily accessible and available to the population that the people that are left that have not gotten it is not for lack of access. It is by personal choice or their medical advice or their religious beliefs. You can probably get the vaccine in a pharmacy, in many non-government buildings, probably a couple dozen locations within 5 miles of here. You know, I've run into this situation in other settings where it is so readily available and accessible. I believe it is truly personal choice and not a matter of advertisement or availability at this point for why that last percentage of the population has not been vaccinated. That's my opinion.
In response to that, I want to say, first of all, there are 20 pharmacies within 4 miles of Elmwood Park. But, and the numbers that I've been giving you are for adults. We don't know what the children are, okay? And children 12 and up are eligible, okay? And it's possible that a lot of parents are waiting to see. They're still in a wait-and-see mode. So bringing it to like the rec center or someplace where mothers and children go seems to me like the right thing. We believe that, we think that there's probably a lot of adolescents that are not vaccinated yet, and it's something that parents have to decide. So there's that segment of the population that still needs to be, that's what the thinking.
And so you believe they have not been vaccinated?
They're not included in the numbers.
For
That's as far as we know.
But for lack of government outreach and
that
public information, because it's
No,
everywhere.
what I wanted to say is this is being offered to us.
Right.
We didn't, the Department of Health came to us and offered us this event. So we need to, we should make every effort to put it into, you know, a proper setting where, you know, it's going to be, we're going to get people. We don't want to see this event not be, you know, taken advantage of. It's here, it's easy, you know, it's, so. And we have the previous experience with that. So, but it's possible that a lot of parents are still taking a wait-and-see attitude. So we still have that segment to be concerned with that. In any event, if there's anything I could do, do you want me to call anybody during the day? Somebody mentioned a church or some other facility. Just let me know if there's anything I can do. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else care to speak? Going once, twice, 3 times? I will close the public portion. May I have a motion to enter into executive session? Ladies and gentlemen, for members of the public, please note that there will be formal action taken at the conclusion of the executive session. So if you want to stick around, it could be quite some time, but you're welcome to rejoin us.
All in favor? Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas the public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss personnel matters and litigation, minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes can be made public. Now therefore be resolved that the public be excluded from this meeting.
Take 5. Okay, now.
Okay, Mayor, I'd like to reestablish a quorum at 9:59 PM. On roll call, council members Balistrary, absent, Fakori.
Here.
Fasolo.
Frank, wake up.
I just heard him coughing.
Say it now.
You might.
Oh. Well, he's just gonna call him back, because
I think somebody sabotaged the line there. Somebody got up in the pole and cut the line. Sal. Gun to bigger me, huh?
This job was supposed to be easy. Easy.
Hello?
Hi.
Stay with
Hey,
us,
yeah.
friend.
Okay, so to
I'm here. I don't know why it keeps going on. I think my headphones died.
all right, I'll restart. To reestablish quorum,
Yeah.
Balistrary, absent, Fakori.
Here.
Fasolo.
Yeah. Here.
Golubek, absent, Pellegrin.
here.
Council President Wetchler, absent. And Mayor Coletti.
Here.
We have a quorum. Okay. Our last resolution of the evening, Resolution R-289-21, authorized continuation of employment, whereas the borough appointed Erin Delaney as the borough clerk via Resolution R-423-19 on November 14, 2019, and whereas Ms. Delaney has since submitted her letter of resignation of full-time employment effective July 14, 2021, and whereas Ms. Delaney and the governing body are both interested in Ms. Delaney continuing her employment with the Borough of Elmwood Park in a part-time manner, now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council do hereby authorize the continuation of employment for Ms. Delaney on a at-will, part-time basis at a fixed annual salary of $20,000.
So we're going to need to vote on that.
Yes, Mayor.
A motion on the
Second.
discussion. I'd like to add that this is, I hope this works. Ms. Delaney feels she can handle it. I don't have a problem with that. Most of the council doesn't have a problem with that. The savings is going to be tremendous for the town. We're talking about approximately a savings of $110,000 a year. Hopefully, it's going to work. And with that, call the roll.
Council members Balistrary, absent, Fakori.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek, absent, Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council President Wetchler, absent. Motion carries.
Okay.
Mayor, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Francesca.
Good night.